Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about The Happening. The Happening was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It looks pretty simple. He directed Sixth Sense, Signs, Unbreakable, Split, Glass, Signs. Wait, I said Signs already. Fuck! But at the same time, he did Stuart Little, not hating on that movie, After Earth, and Avatar The Last Airbender. So hits and misses. I'm kind of surprised that he had such amazing movies like Signs, for example, where it's so thrilling and there's a lot of suspense, and he gets to Avatar The Last Airbender. What? Wow. How? I don't understand. I watched Split and I thought it was pretty fucking cool. And then I watched Avatar and I wanted to cry. I wanted to start crying very loudly, and I didn't want any anymore. That's basically it. But anyway, starring Mark Wahlberg and John Leguizamo, I think. So, what's the movie about? I'm going to go through it because there's a lot we need to talk about. Let's talk about it. There's an airborne toxin or something. I think I'm going to call it a toxin that causes people to kill themselves. At this point, the toxin started in Central Park, so the whole of New York is being evacuated. It's revealed that researchers thought it was a terrorist attack, but so the biology teacher, Mark, I'm going to call him Mark, his name is Elliot, he brings his cheating and introverted wife, Alma, with him. He also brings with his fellow math teacher, John Leguizamo, that's him, he's the math teacher. And then the math teacher's daughter also comes along. So that's the group of four for now. The group grows smaller and bigger, but that's like the main four people in this movie. So they get on a train and people see reports online of the toxin spreading to lots of cities. And this is very fast. Like already, I think it started within the same day, and in a few hours it spread to multiple cities. And it's giving the same vibe as like a zombie outbreak, which is pretty cool. The train they're on stops in a random small town before their destination. The train crew says that they lost contact with everyone, which is such a cool moment, can I just say. Like, they're figuring out how screwed they actually are. Pretty cool. So they show us a video of someone feeding themselves to a lion, and it just looks utterly ridiculous. The CGI is so bad. It just looks so clunky. And that obviously freaks everyone out because like, oh no, bad CGI, and then they all run away and evacuate. And the math guy leaves his daughter with Mark and Alma, and for some reason, and he goes and wants to go fetch his wife, and I don't know why he wants to leave his daughter with these two, but that's what he decides. We are treated to a shitty slow-mo, and shitty slow-mo as in they took the original fast footage and then they just slowed that down. They didn't shoot it in slow motion. They made it slow motion in post, which means that it was choppy. And this is always the thing with bad slow-mo. They don't shoot it in slow-mo, so the frames are lower because they're physically making it slower. It's like if you speed something up, you know it. You can see it sped up. And if you slow something down, you could obviously see it slow down. In this case, really bad. So they meet an old guy who is botanist. Is that the term for plant people? I think so. That guy. So an old guy says he has a theory that plants are releasing chemicals that are killing people. That is the plants that are releasing chemicals. Meanwhile, the math guy goes with his group that took him now away from his daughter, and they see some corpses where they're heading, like people hanging from the trees and stuff, which is pretty like horrifying. And can I just say, seeing people kill themselves because of the toxin is low-key disturbing for a movie this bad. I'm just saying, this movie is bad in like a hilarious way because it's just so bad sometimes. But when it is disturbing, it is pretty fucking disturbing. So I just want to point that out. That is pretty cool. So the lady in the group is freaking out. So he gives her a math riddle to try and figure out to calm her down. I'm trying not to make this sound stupid, but it's really fucking stupid. And then they all die because there was a cut in the sunroof that let in air, even though the car isn't airtight. I'm sure cars back then weren't actually airtight. So a little bit of air does get in anyway. like in the engine, whatever. It's fine. So they all die anyway, which is also very, very disturbing. So back to Mog. No one knows that meth guy is dead, but they never bring him up ever again, so it's okay. There was a little moment where the gang make a U-turn because they see corpses in front of them and they want to turn around. And it's a little subtle thing because they drive over some flowers, like it zooms in on them driving over some flowers when they reverse. And it's a cool little subtle hint of humans destroying nature, and that's the whole theme of the movie. It's just a nice touch that they added, you know? I'm not going to show them this movie the whole time. They do well sometimes. The gang meets other people like at a crossroad, and they're all running away, including the military. So now, let's say there's 4 paths, and everyone meets in the middle. Oh shit, our town was just hit. Now they're kind of surrounded, okay? And then they go on foot. There was a phone call. This lady is calling her daughter. Her daughter on the other side gets affected, like you can hear the symptoms. They like explain the symptoms in the movie. They hear the symptoms, and then they hear her throwing herself out of what I'm assuming is a second or third story window. You hear the window crashing, and all that stuff. And then she passes the phone to Mark, and then he hears wind. He says he hears wind. Whether that's implying what is to come, that they figure out about the virus, that it is in the wind. Sorry, spoilers about that. Which is, I'm going to get to that. Or if he hears wind implying that she is in fact outside and did jump off to kill herself. Either way, it's fucking stupid. It's stupid. Very, very stupid. Back to the plant guy. He starts talking to Mark more about the plant's evolution, and it's giving us clues. Maybe plants are evolving and releasing toxins because we are destroying them, basically. And then the group that is on foot from the crossroads split. Let's say that they split into 2. And the group in front, which is meters away, by the way, and it should definitely infect everybody, not just them meters in front. Another topic for another fucking day. This whole thing is just weird. So they get affected, and Alma says that they need to go help them. You dumb bitch! How can you help them if it's an airborne thing and they're already infected? Alma, keep it in your pants, okay? And then Mark suggests then, right now, in that moment, that humans are sitting off the plants and that they need to stay ahead of the wind, that it's an airborne thing. And then suddenly, it looks like wind is blowing on the grass. They're noticing that the wind is blowing on the grass and that the wind is kamestach blowing a little bit closer to them in like a wave, and then they start running away from the wind blowing on the grass, and it is just it's so dumb. It looks so stupid. I'm sorry. It looks fucking stupid. I'm just gonna say it. It looks really stupid. They stop while the wind is passing them. This is also Mark's genius idea. And I think the wind is like a dinosaur because it doesn't react to movement, doesn't notice them, which is not what a toxin is at all. This is not what airborne diseases do. It gets inside of you and it fucking kills you. It doesn't like, oh, we can't see them because they're not moving. Let's go. We're out of here. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Anyway, so Mark talks to a plant, which is plastic, and then calls himself out on it, which is pretty funny. And then he witnesses another group kill themselves as they're traveling. And there's this one guy who activates a huge lawnmower and lies down in its path, and then it runs him over, which is pretty funny. Okay, so the group just updates. It consists of 5. Mark Wahlberg, I'm still calling him Mark. Alma, the math teacher's daughter, and 2 teenagers are now in the group as well, from the group that they split in the crossroads, right? And then the teens give Mark relationship advice because during this whole thing, Mark and Alma have not sort of a very stable relationship. They are going through some things and they're addressing it in the movie. I'll get to that. And the teens ask Mark about his mood ring. And he's like, oh yeah, this shows what mood you're in and whatever. And then he gives it to them to look at. And then they talk for another 2 sentences. And then he snatches it back and says, quote, "That's not a toy. It's got meaning to me." You just fucking gave it to them. You ass. What is wrong with you? Oh yeah. So before this, Alma told Mark that she cheated on him, and then later Mark said to Alma that he approached a lady at a counter to buy cough syrup even though he didn't have a cough. I'm trying not to make it sound stupid. Um, and then she asked if that was a joke, and he nodded. And then she said thank you and started tearing up. Better love story than Twilight, man. I'm telling you. Mark sees Alma swinging the daughter on a swing and says that that's maybe such a good idea. I get it. Maybe the tree will be pissed off that you're swinging on it and release a toxin, but let her have a little bit of fun. She's seeing multiple people die in front of her. All right, fucking relax. Speaking of, the teens bother some people in a house and they fucking blast them with shotguns. The teens get annihilated, each, both of them, and then the now there's the original three, and then they run away. How that's so like it caught me off guard. I was like, there's no way they just got blasted so without any warning. That was crazy. And then they meet an old woman. Basically, she invites them to dinner and to stay for the night. And while they eat, there's a plate of cookies on the table. The daughter reaches for one, and the grandma fucking slaps her hand and says, "Don't take what isn't yours. You invited us for dinner, and you can't take a cookie. Just give us some boundaries." I don't know. It's weird. And then the old lady just goes insane and starts killing herself. And it's almost like the wind is controlling her to break the windows while the people are inside them so that the wind can get in, so that the toxin can get in. It's really convoluted. And it's like such a weird scene. And then the gang is trapped in the house. And they talk through what I'm guessing is air vents or a pipe. Let's say Mark is indoors in the basement, and Alma and the daughter are in the barn, right? Let's just say, and then there's a pipe connecting. They kind of talk like that for a while, and decide, you know what? Screw this. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die together. And then they walk out in the wind. The wind passes them, and nothing happens. And that's it. It just ends. And then it shows them obviously, what's it called? Epilogue. That they go back to school, everything's back to normal. So it turns out, the toxin is just a warning from nature, and it's just a small thing that happened in under 24 hours. I think they said something about that. Anyway, the ending will explain it, but it just ends, and there's no resolution. It's just like, oh, there was a toxin, bunch of people died in the DC to Boston area. I think if I can remember, that's like the area. It's like west. No, East USA, like that whole coastal region, that place, whatever. It happened, it went away, that was the movie. Very weird. But the whole movie just seems under-budgeted, or badly written, or something, but something is off about it. The decisions they make in the movie is just absurd, like I'm saying, the cookies, you can't touch the cookies. And like Mark gives them the ring, nope, I'm taking it back, just let's take that right back. That's weird. The acting felt sarcastic, like the whole movie was a skit. Especially Mark Wahlberg, bless his heart. He has the same reaction the whole movie. He has the same facial expression for everything. It's bad, and it's funny. If you watch it for being a bad movie, it is really, really funny, actually. But I must say, they didn't rush Elliot and Alma's relationship problems. I'm saying Elliot now. They slowly brought it up, and then finally confronted it during the climax. Like, I actually want to be with you. Let's do this. And then they come out and all that. And there are some really cool moments, like the train conductor saying that they lost contact. I don't know. Sometimes it just hits you. And with the disturbing nature of people actually killing themselves. But it's weird that the movie just ended like that. Like, the virus just stopped. And that kind of gives me an idea that maybe it was under-budgeted. It approached 90 minutes. Shit, we have to end this now. I can't afford this. Or it was badly written. Oops, 90 minutes. Let's shoot the final scenes. It's weird. I don't know. It just wasn't a satisfying ending. And it wasn't a satisfying movie. So saying that, I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. I don't want to put it any lower, because the idea is really cool of like the happening, what's happening. and then they figure out that it's an airborne thing and people want to kill themselves. It reminds me of Bird Box, but it was so badly executed that I can't put it any higher. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. I know it's been 2 weeks since I last uploaded. I'm really sorry about that, but I have been busy. I think this is the busiest I've ever been in my life. X Define just came out, and I'm trying to play that more on my other gaming channel. I am in multiple bands, and I'm trying to record with the one. I'm playing drums for that one. I'm recording the one, trying to get into this other metal band. I'm doing bass and backup vocals for this other band, and trying to write my own music. It is very busy, and I apologize for not putting this channel first, but my YouTube isn't giving me any money, and my music is, so I'm trying to do that first, you know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway, I'll upload this as soon as I can. Maybe it'll be 3 weeks, but I'm sure I'll upload this now, edit it now, and all that, so, yeah. Thanks for your patience, and I'll see you next time. Bye.